Now let's see this topic of alligations and mixtures. So mixture means mixing two or more groups of different types or two or more items of different types is called as a mixture. So when you mix them, it is called as a mixture. So in general, we talk about two or more items, but coming to this topic, we'll discuss only about mixing two items of different types. Okay, and alligations is it deals with what are the quantities in which you have to mix these two items so that the final item is going to be of this quantity. So alligations means dealing with the quantities of these mixtures. Okay, so with examples it will be clear. So let me take an example and explain you. So I'll take a simple example. Let us assume that there is a group of five boys, and say the average marks obtained by these students, by these five boys, is, let's say, 20 marks. Okay, so assume that n1 is the number of students or the number of people in this first group, and a1 is the average of this group. Now how do you get this average 20? Maybe if you can take a distribution, you will understand it clearly. Let us say the marks scored by each student individually is, assume that 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Now how to find out the average? We know that average is nothing but sum by total, right? So you have to add the total, so all of them, and find out the total and divide it by the number of this, which means you have to add them all up, right? If you add them all up, you are going to get it as 100, divided by total number of students, which is 5, therefore you are going to get 20, right? So what is it? The total marks is equal to, then if I write this, so if average is equal to total by number, then the total marks equal to average into number. Got it? Okay. Now let us assume that there is one more group, a group of girls, and in this group, let's say there are 5 girls, and the average of this group is, assume that it is 10 marks, right? You can, let us say the distribution of the marks is like this, 5, 10, 10, 10, maybe 15. Okay, now if we add them all up, then you are going to get a total. So in this case, you are going to get a total of 50, and the average is going to be 50 by 5, which is 10 marks. I'm just taking an example. It need not be exactly this, it can be any other distribution, but I just wanted to show you that average is nothing but total by number, right? So what do you get from this? The total marks got by these students can also be obtained even without adding them up. It can also be obtained by taking average of this group, which is A2, into number of people in that group, which is N2, right? So the total marks obtained by the students in this group is A1, N1, and the total marks obtained by the students in this group is A2, N2, right? So now I want to mix these two groups and I want to make a new group. This is what is called as a mixture. I am mixing two groups of different types, right? Now how many students will be there in this? N1 plus N2, right? So in this case it is going to be 10 students. Now I want to find out what is the average marks in this group. See, in this group average marks is 20, in this group average marks is 10, but when I mix them both, the average may be different, right? So what could be the average here? Now if you just think about it intuitively, it should lie between 20 and 10, isn't it? Because the least average is 10 and the highest average is 20, it should lie between them. Okay, we shall discuss it later if you are not able to get it. Anyway, what should be this average? This average of the overall group is equal to total marks obtained by all the students in this group. So what will that be? That will be equal to total marks got by these boys plus total marks got by these girls divided by total number of students. Now what is the total marks got by these boys? It is equal to 100. You have already computed it, right? 100. And what is the total marks got by these girls? Equal to 50 divided by what is the total number of students here? 5 plus 5 is 10. So it is 15. 15 marks is the average of this group. So 10 and 20 are there, I got 15 as the average, which is lying between these two. Now if you analyze this, how I got that one is, see this, the average of the group newly formed is equal to n1 into a1 plus n2 into a2 divided by n1 plus n2, right? Now I could write it this way. Okay, this is how you can find out the average of the new group. Now I want to analyze whether this average lies closer to a1 or lies closer to a2, or it lies less than this or greater than this. I want to analyze that way. Now let's say this is the number line, and assume that out of these two group averages a1 and a2, assume that a1 is the one with the higher value. So which means, let us say on the number line I am putting a1 on the higher side, okay, and let us say a2 is the, out of these two groups, the group with lower average value, right? So a2 is less than a1. If that is the case, then what will happen to the group average? I mean, when you combine them both, what will happen to the group average? I want to say that, or I am saying that the group average will always lie between these two, right? Somewhere. It need not be exactly in the middle, it is going to definitely lie within this range. So why is that so? Just think about it logically. See this? Now, in the final group, you are already having the items with the least average a2. To that group you are going to add some more items whose averages are higher than this. Therefore, the new average will either grow or stay at the same point, but there is no way it is going to fall down. If it has to fall down, someone has to take away the values. Here, instead of that, to the value a2, we are trying to add some more values with greater values, right? Therefore, our new average is always supposed to lie to the right of it. And similarly, you know, some items are already there with the highest average a1. To those items, we are adding the items whose average value is less than that, right? Therefore, the average should lie to the left of it. It cannot increase beyond that. Got it? So the average has to lie between these two numbers. Now, where is it going to lie? That depends on how many items of a2 you are adding and how many items of a1 you are adding. Got it? So this analysis is under the assumption that a1 is the greater average in the two groups and a2 is the lesser one. Then the final average is going to lie between them. Even in this example also, see this, if you see 20 is the higher average and 10 is the lower average, and our final average happen to be in between them, right? Okay, now what does this number depend on? So if you observe this, you can write this one like this: n1 by n1 plus n2 into a1 plus n2 by n1 plus n2 into a2. Now if you see this, our average not only depends on these values, it also depends on these values n1 and n2. If we increase n1, then what happens? The weightage of the items whose average is a1 is going to increase, and therefore your average value is going to tilt towards a1. Got it? If you increase n1, your average is going to tilt towards a1, and if you increase n2, again you are going to increase the weightage of a2 in such a way that, you know, it is going to tilt towards a2, right? So if you want to see this, if you want, you just make n1 as 0. If you make n1 as 0, then what does it mean? All the items are of type a2. Then your average will go completely towards a2, right? If you make n2 as, let's say n2 as 0, then all the items will be of type a1. Then your average is going to go towards a1. Right? See, what I mean to say is, if you make this one as 0, then average will be directly equal to a2. So if you make this one as 0, the average is n1 as 0, the average is going to be a2, right? Why? Because n2 by n2 into a2, which means if I don't add any items from group a1, then the final group is containing the group a2 only, right? That is why it got a2 only. So if you make this one as 0, then your average is going to be a1. So depending on what the value of n1 and n2 are, the final average is going to depend. Therefore, there might be other questions possible where they will say that a1 is something and a2 is something, and we want to finally make the mixture average to be something, then what is the ratio in which n1 and n2 should be present? Got it? So let's try to derive that formula as well, where given a1 and a2, these two numbers, and given a, we have to find out the ratio of n1 and n2. Okay.
Hi, if you are planning to do masters, then doing masters abroad is better than doing masters in India. I'll give you all the reasons. So, first reason is, out of 1 lakh students who take GATE every year, there are only 500 seats in old IITs. So all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%, and IITs, universities better than IITs, they have very good acceptance rate like 30%, 40%, but all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%. And if you are working hard to get into IIT Bombay's ranking is 177 and IIT Roorkee's ranking is 400. If you are happy to get into IIT Roorkee, then getting into universities better than IIT Roorkee is easier compared to getting into IIT Roorkee. And looking at the salaries for computer science, for software jobs, if you have done your masters in computer science in US, the salaries are ranging from 80 lakhs per year to 1.2 crore per year. So even if you take an average of 1 crore per year, your savings will be much higher than the salaries in India. After taxes and your cost of living, you can easily save 40 to 50 lakhs per year. And in India, the maximum jobs that you get is around 30 lakhs. So your savings will be much greater than the salaries in India. And these are all the services that we provide. University shortlisting. So depending on your profile, we will shortlist what are the universities that you have to apply, and statement of purpose building, and then LOR guidance, and GRE and English test assistance, and education loan assistance. So you don't have to have any collateral, which means without any security, now you can get education loan. Getting education loan is very simple these days, and whatever the amount of fee that you have a range of universities. You can apply for 10 lakh universities, 20 lakh universities, or 50 lakh universities. But whatever it is, you are going to get complete education loan, and you can pay off your education loan in 1 year after you get a job. And then we do visa assistance, mock visa interviews, and then connecting with the university alumni. So now you might ask why we should join Game of Visas. So the answer is we have 90% success rate, 99% success rate. And these are all the destinations that we guide the students to. So we guide students to any country that you want to go. So now it is not just USA. We guide to UK, Germany, Australia, Canada. So we guide students to all the countries. We work with all the destinations. And if you are interested in going abroad, you have to just drop us a message on this WhatsApp number 9494 555 454. Okay, thank you.